Ready? Bring the wisdom so we can be the light of the world.
I love you so much.
It's been different every time. Okay.
And last time you wanted me to do the thing, and I was like, "What?"
I'm testing them out. I think light of the world's kind of cool, but it relates to the subject we're talking about, advice. Back to school advice, because we have a generation going back to school here in the fall, either high school, college, and even
most have started by now.
The school of life. I'll start off. I won't put the pressure on you. I think a big one that I've been thinking about lately is think in years and decades, not days and weeks. Because if you're thinking about years and decades, you're putting purpose before pleasure. And when you gird your frame of thinking and every decision is through the lens of how is this going to affect my life 10 years out, you're going to make better decisions in the moment. Because then it becomes what you sow today is what you reap 10 years down the line. So I lived in a season 7 years ago where I was thinking, I want to find a wife to do life with. And so in that frame and reference, I was thinking, every decision I make today is going to impact my future marriage and the spouse I pick, as well as the spouse I become. So I think that's a big one. Think in years and decades.
I think that's really big, too. I'll actually speak into that from my experience.
Oh, you're going to piggyback on it.
I'll piggyback. As a young lady of faith, you know, I was also looking for a gentleman, you know, to spend my life with or thinking about that. And I really felt strongly that having a broken heart today is better than having a broken marriage in 10 years. So whenever I would consider a young man, I would always allow the Lord to end it.
Yeah.
And he often didn't say yes or no directly to me, but he would give me tidbits of just his heart. Like one time I had gone through a relationship and then years later was considering somebody who had similar attributes.
Yeah.
And the Lord was saying, do you really want to go through that again?
Yep.
And I was like, no, I don't, because it's better to be lonely today than to have a lonely marriage in 10 years.
Preach it.
And I really speak that to my friends who really need to hear that advice, because they're in situations where they might be considering a young man who's not right for them.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that they're bad. Sometimes they have things going on that are not going to be, you know, great husbands. But that doesn't mean that they're always just not going to be great husbands. They're just not going to be great for you. So piggyback on that, I just really admire thinking about that years and decades, because not only that, but even I don't know how far I can go with this, but even sexually, I was able to think years and decades and what that would be worth if I didn't fulfill pleasure in the moment. So I think that...
Because that perspective helped you maintain purity in that season of like, oh no, I don't want to choose a one-night stand that leads to short-term pleasure, but long-term pain and heartache and all of that. No, my eye is set on the prize.
Absolutely.
The verse in the Bible talks about the eye is the lamp of the body. If the eye is healthy, the whole body will be full of light. And so years and decades is I'm setting my eyes on the future vision of my life. I'm setting my eyes on Jesus. And when you set your eyes on Jesus, the light of the world, you eventually are just filled and overflow with that light of the world. Woo! I'm kind of nervous.